And we are live. Good evening. I did not know whether there was going to be a third stream, if I'm honest, because I was left in quite a pickle at the end of the last one. So, first things first, I have learned since my previous stream that apparently Twitch counts the streamer as a viewer for the purposes of calculating viewer count to a stream. So quite embarrassingly, whenever I would address my one lone viewer, I was in fact addressing myself. Which is a bit embarrassing, but let's move past that. Since I've started, I've actually surprisingly gotten subscribers on YouTube, which I did not expect. And I've gotten praise from a few friends for the streams and videos, and that encouraged me to keep going. However, as you might have noticed from the fact that I am no longer wielding my Kestises, I have decided that it was worth it to keep going, but not, importantly, to do so as my Kestis build. Rather, I've decided that it would be wiser to switch to a weapon more for damage. And in that regards, I had a few options. I had the Baldur Side Sword, the Great Axe, and the Spear, the Winged Spear. But ultimately, I decided to go for the Halberd. Why? Well, simply because I've never actually done a dedicated Halberd playthrough in this game. That's reason one. And that would be enough, for the record, as far as I'm aware. But other reasons include that I've already started leveling up my character in both strength and dexterity. So, you know, kind of a sunk cost. It made sense for the Kestis, but it would not make sense for, say, the Great Axe, which only scales with strength, and if you go for the Lightning Great Axe, then does not scale at all with your stats. Bloody dogs. So the Halberd has great reach, it has a great moveset. I can use it two-handed, I can use it with a shield, it uses my dex and my strength, and what is frequently considered the most broken weapon in the game is a halberd, specifically the Black Knight halberd. Alright, there we go. Another doggy put down. Furthermore, if I do decide eventually to specialize as a dex build, which is the thing that the Baldur Side Sword would be well suited towards, then I can also do that with a halberd weapon. The Scythe, which is actually a Bardiche, but don't let anybody know. The game calls it a Scythe. I will call it a Bardiche, because I enjoy not being wrong about things. But yes, so that brings us to the subject of the curse. Because you might have noticed that was, you know, half of the reason why fucking shit. The curse is half the reason why I had ended the stream last time, the other being that I was having trouble progressing with the Kestis. So, you can, in fact, get the magic MacGuffin that removes curses at this point in the game. It's sold by the Undead Lady I mentioned last time for 6,000 sold, and it is also sold by Oswald of Karam for 3,000 souls. Who is Oswald of Karam, you might ask? He is that guy at the top of the Gargoyle Bell Tower that sold me the poison resistance ring. So we're gonna have to go pay him a visit, because I'll take a discount if I can get it. And besides, the issue is not the commute from the undead merchant lady to Oswald of Karam. It's the trip from the depths to the merchant lady. Playing with lock-on is not typically a very good idea in this game, for the simple reason that it locks you into certain axes of movement, whereas not being locked on allows you to attack very, very free range. But, you know what? It's helping me against these dogs, so I'm gonna use it. Again, never be afraid to be called a noob just because you're doing something that makes sense in context. Though, there it almost kind of screwed me over. Damn it, one guy. So anyways. Now, I do have the Evil Eye Ring, which is going to be making this journey a little bit more tolerable. Because, as you can see, I heal a little bit of HP after I kill any enemy. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust my mic. I'm currently banging it with my hand a bit, and I find that very, very irritating. There we go. That should be a bit better, just a little bit out of reach. Part of the problem is that I tend to lean forward when the action gets very heated, which is not good for my back, and it's not good for my sound system, especially if I want to get, fucking goddammit, that lovely bass aesthetic that I can only have when I'm very close to the mic. But, you know, I've been told that that Blue Yeti mics, which is the kind that I have, always sound a bit thin anyways, so, or make your voice sound a bit thin. So I do with that what I can. So far, so good. Again, just already, you know, we haven't upgraded the halberd to +5 yet, but you can already see that it is completely massacring these imbeciles. So, definitely a good choice. The other reason why the Kestis is not optimal, because the Kestis does have some things going for it. It's very fast. That's basically it. It's very fast. The issue, apart from lack of range, lack of very high scaling. There's the undead lady. Hello. The issue with the build that I was going for is that in this game especially, dual wielding, so wielding 2 of the same weapons or even just 2 weapons in general, is not considered a very, very good decision. It's kind of underwhelming from what I read. So it was just like conceptually not well suited to the kinds of challenges that I'm going to be meeting. And, you know, it was fast, but because it didn't do a lot of poise damage, so it couldn't really interrupt enemy attacks, it ended up leaving me more open than anything else, which compounded with the short range issue to make it so that I was, frankly, just a very easy target. Very, you know, soft and vulnerable. So there. Now, one thing that spears have on halberds is that you can, with a spear, you can attack from behind your shield. So, you might notice if I have my shield up and I attack, I stop shielding myself. Which means that if an enemy is, you know, if I time it wrong, then enemies will hit me during the lag between when the shield is up and when I've actually hit them. Why am I leveling up? So they'll hit me during the lag. And that's not ideal. But with a spear, and incidentally with thrusting swords like the rapier, or my favorite, the S-Talk, well, you can also two rats. You can just stay safely behind cover. This thing has crazy amounts of reach. Oh boy, here comes my dreaded mortal enemy. The rats. Away, ye demon! I had a nightmare with rats last night. My fiance is incredibly afraid of mice and rats. And I had a dream that I had a nightmare that our house was just completely infested with this stuff. And so she was just shrieking and panicking all over the place. And I was trying to get the cats to take care of this armada of rodents. So Waffles and Rin Rin, that's our cats, weren't being very cooperative, but well, I don't know because I didn't get to see the ending. I woke up. But you know, that's how it is. I hope my sound is loud enough. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I need to lower the game sound a bit again. I still thought it was a bit loud on the last recording. So I'll do that now before they start shooting at me. Sorry about that. Usually I would have tried to do this before I started rolling, but it kind of slipped my mind. Hopefully that'll do it. I think my rule of thumb is that if it's going to be as loud for you guys as I can hear it, so that might not be true. I might be wrong about that, but that's what it seemed like on the previous recordings. So yeah, the halberd seems to be doing quite nicely. We've already, you know, we've got enough to get uncursed, which is wonderful. That's what we want. It's not all we want. We also would like to get this halberd up to snuff, but it's a start. It's a mighty fine start at that. If my camera can stop jerking, that would be nice. My fiance had her wisdom teeth pulled yesterday, which is why there wasn't a stream yesterday, though frankly, at this point in my career, I don't believe I really need to justify not streaming. I don't have a schedule or anything yet. Ooh, I need to back off. This guy's gonna poke me full of holes before I have the time to properly respond. I think that was an adequate reply, don't you? Yes. Okay, so that's an AoE. I was just testing out my strong attack. Yeah. As you can tell from how I'm performing right now, playing with a Kestis was a major handicap. Yeah, let's take care of this guy for good measure. It's very fun. I'm a big fan of polearms overall. That's because I personally enjoy surviving fights. And a polearm is just a very reliable way of doing that. In medieval era technology, that is. I wouldn't necessarily go against some Navy SEALs with a fucking Bohemian ear spoon, you know? So, I think we've got enough to get one of them purifying stones, which is good. And we even have a little bit extra on the top to start paying off this this loan on getting my halberd up to snuff. Oof. Oof. You don't win no fights by getting stabbed in the backs. That's some advice I learned from playing Chivalry 2. Alright. Now we're cooking with gas. So I just gotta make it up this there, take care of this dumbfuck. Hello. Goodbye. I certainly hope you enjoy getting your chest spanked by a halberd. I personally would not. Never tried it, just I don't feel like I would enjoy it. Yeah, it's not even funny how much better this is working out. This is even more than I expected. It's like I knew it was going to have a change on my performance just because of the reach and all that, and the higher damage output, but this is insane. So the Balder Knights with a rapier, the kind that I just finished destroying there, I would almost recommend that specific scenario as one where locking on can be useful, as well as those thieves we were fighting last time. And the reason for that is that they can backstab, and when they backstab, it's a crit, you can't avoid it, it does a crazy amount of damage, and it's terrible for morale. But if you lock on, then you can retreat from the engagement, sorry, without exposing your back.
Greetings. Just in time.
I like his helmet. Purging stone. There we go. That's what I wanted.
Thou art welcome any time.
Yes, yes. Purging stone. Here we are. Wonderful. And I've already got 4,500 souls as a down payment on upgrading my halberd. Perfect. Wonderful. Ah. It feels so nice to actually be able to get shit done. But before we return to the depths and settle my vendetta against the rats, I would like to do a couple of errands. The first of which is getting my halberd upgraded as far as I can get it, which, since I have the large ember and a large titanite shard, I'm pretty sure, should be up to +6, which is wonderful. But after that, we have some unfinished business at the asylum, and I'd like to get a particular shield from a particular forest, and I would also like to not die here, would be lovely. But in all seriousness, I would also like to potentially gain the Black Knight halberd. Jeez. He's really throwing me off my timing. Either that or I'm just bad at this game. Both are equally likely as far as I'm aware. The reason why I'm doing the circuit is because sometimes these guys drop titanite shards, and on top of the souls they give me, Those are just very nice for upgrading my halberd. If you were there last time, you know what I'm talking about. Or did I say last time? I meant to say on my first stream, when I got my Kestises up to +5. So, now I have 5100. That should be able to get me 6 Titanite shards and 1 upgrade. Or 5 Titanite shards and 5 upgrades. So I think I'll go for 5 Titanite shards, which should get me 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough. Oh, actually, I think I got 1 Titanite shard there. Well, we'll see.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there.
Thank you.
I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
Of course.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed.
I certainly hope
I can
not.
hardly wait to get started.
Neither can I. Two, 4, 7. I need 7 Titanite shards to fully upgrade. I can buy 6, but then I won't have enough to upgrade, so I'll buy 5. And then I will... So I just need 2 more Titanite
Don't
shards.
get yourself killed. Neither of it.
Which shouldn't take too long. These enemies drop it, and even if they don't, I should be able to farm enough souls from them to be able to purchase them up front. But ideally, they'll simply drop it. It'll save me a bit of souls. So yes, my fiance got her wisdom teeth pulled yesterday, so I've been taking care of her. It's been odd, because typically she's the one who does all the cooking. She is a very good cook. I used to cook a little, but I haven't in years because she's way better than I am, and she likes it more than I do. And for a while when we moved into this apartment, she was studying and I was working full-time, and so she figured that her contribution to the household would need to be more of the housekeeper. Now, of course, she's very busy, so it's more of a balancing act, but she still loves cooking. But now, she can only eat very soft things, so we've been having lots of soup, and I made some congee, some rice porridge. We had dumplings yesterday because those were soft enough that she could basically just swallow them whole. And tonight we had pasta from a pasta restaurant in the city where I live. And the pasta was alright, but there was this garlic bread, and it was the fucking most buttered thing I have ever seen. There was like an inch thick amount of butter on both sides of the bread. I ate both bits of bread they gave me. I regret doing that because I think that was so much butter it probably shaved like a good 2 years off my lifespan. It was ridiculous, and not helping the matter, I was dipping it in my pasta's cream sauce because I fucking hate my arteries, apparently. And I just really want some kind of fucking atherosclerotic heart attack. So that's nice. Apart from that, it's been a very, very interesting week. very big highs, very big lows. You know, on top of this stream, which, as I mentioned earlier, I was very on and off as to whether or not I was even going to continue. I've also been needing to find myself a new job for a while because my current contract is set to end in September. And I've been looking for a new position since May. As of recording, it's mid-August, so I've been searching for about 3 months. And for some reason, I just had the worst luck with finding jobs. And, you know, they always, you know, whenever I talked about it to, like, managers or coworkers, they're always like, well, you're a good employee, and, you know, there's tons of job openings right now with the Great Resignation and all that, you know. So it's going to be no problem finding a job, but, like, I don't know, I think that's kind of bullshit. But even if it were true in large urban centers, in the city where I am, there just weren't jobs in my industry because, well, long story short, I'm in the arts industry. And although there is an artistic scene in the city, you know, the arts have not fully recovered as an industry from the pandemic yet. It's not like we're, you know, full on doing productions all the time. I study theater and modern languages. Why am I going here? So it's pretty tough finding a gig in those fields. So usually I compromise and I just go for like jobs in communications or admin. My current job is in government administration. You know, it's fine. I have major problems with it, but it's a decent enough job. And I would have liked to have kept it for personal reasons, mainly ego. It never feels well to know that you're going to be replaced because somebody scored slightly higher than you on a relative equality test. But whatever, you know, I can adapt. But for some reason, I could not get an employer to so much as spit in my direction for like 3 whole months. And that's terrible for morale. And then, the craziest thing, yesterday I was in a job interview, and, you know, we're halfway through the interview, and the lady just goes, you know what, we're just giving you the job. And so now I have something for September, and you know, it's not perfect. The position is not completely full-time. They say it's full-time, but that's a fucking lie. It's 25 hours a week, which is not what full-time is. But it pays more than my current job. And so it kind of evens out to being basically the same amount. Like, I would make a bit less monthly after tax, but, you know, it's overall a pretty decent gig. And with, you know, less time working, it means more time to work on other projects that I've been putting off. I want to start auditioning for some voice acting gigs, and I have this stream. Sorry, I'm very burpy right now. I just ate right before recording. I'm full of pasta and butter. It's awful. But yeah, since suddenly, you know, I'm only going to be working 5 hours a day, suddenly that's an extra 3 or 4 hours I can dedicate to these projects using my voice, which is what ultimately I would like to do for a living. So that's fucking amazing. And I was just so stunned that, like, for months, you know, these people kept on going like, oh, we just don't think you have quite the skills and backgrounds to do, you know, admin or communication or legal assistant. And it's like, I've worked admin for the last 6 years. I've worked communications for 7, and I've worked with legislation in my current job with the government. Like, I don't know. It's just very frustrating, but the thing that it shows, and the thing that getting hired on the spot kind of demonstrated, because there's a couple of weeks ago I had gone for another job interview, and it had just been like a nightmare. It was for a nonprofit organization that helps vulnerable people, especially those dealing with addiction. It's like a tough job, and it honestly wasn't great pay, but it was communication, so I had applied to it, and they had scheduled me for an interview, and it had gone horribly. Like, I showed up at the time they told me to show up, like 5-10 minutes early even, because it was right next to where I worked. And I rang them up. I'm like, hey, I'm Isaac. I'm here for the interview at this time. And they're like, oh, all right, we'll send somebody down. And I wait like 10 minutes and nobody shows up. So I ring them up on the intercom again. It's the same person. And I just go, hello, it's me again. I still haven't been shown in. And they're like, oh, all right, guess we'll send somebody down. So I wait another 5-10 minutes. It's in the middle of July. I'm in a goddamn 3-piece suit, sweating my balls off. 5-10 minutes in the lobby, still nobody coming, and like the security guards are like giving me, because like they work with vulnerable people, so they're security guards, and they're like giving me the look like you should leave. And it's like, look, I have a job interview here. I'm not just hanging out in your lobby because I get off on it. You know, obviously, I'm trying to do the professional thing. So I called them up one more... Actually, no. I didn't call them up. Somebody, like, walked by the lobby, and a security guard, like, signaled to them that I was there, and they're like, oh, why are you here? And I'm like, I have a job interview, like, 5 minutes ago. And they're like, okay, I guess I'll show you in. And so they did. And it gets worse. This person was the lady that interviewed me. Like, she knew. And the interview was, like, very, very awkward. Like, they would ask a question, and I would answer, and, like, obviously that's what an interview is. But then they would, like, pause and go, could you elaborate? Like, could you, like, tell us more about the thing that you just said? And... frankly, I was kind of taken aback because, A, that doesn't happen very often in a job interview. Usually, when you stop talking, you know, they're like, all right, he's done. Next question. But with this one, the other problem is that sometimes when you're in a job interview, you're not being honest. You're just saying whatever you think is going to get you through the interview, whatever you think they want to hear. So now suddenly they were asking me to, like, elaborate on positions that I've never actually really held. Which is a very strange mental exercise, because the first part is, okay, what did I say again? But anyways, with that interview, they also kind of offered me the job. They were like, you know, we think about it, you know, if everything works out for you, we'll, like, figure out how to make it work, you know, document yourself on this and that. And in the end, I decided not to take it, one, because I felt I'd been treated very rudely. I did not enjoy it. 2, because I knew it was going to be a very difficult, thankless job. And 3, because they straight up just weren't offering enough. It would have made less than I was making with my current job. And I was like, I need to, you know, at least try to make about the same amount. Otherwise, it's very difficult to justify. But the thing that made me realize... And to loop it back to my original point, when it comes to a job application, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are. What matters is what they need or what they want. And so, for most of the jobs that I was applying for, I just was not what they wanted. And it's easy to take that personally because, like, obviously, you want them to look at you as a person and to acknowledge that you're a good employee, that you're hardworking, that you would be a good candidate, a good fit for their company. But it's just fundamentally not what the point of the process is. They don't care about you. They care about what they want or what they need. And the only time they'll ever care about you specifically is if they can't find what they want. And so they're trying to settle, you know? 2 jobs ago, I had to work. I was assisting the director of the place I was working with some interview for some summer students that were getting recruited for like as part of a government program. Another artistic nonprofits that I worked with. And so I got to be on the other side of the interviewing table and actually grading applicants. And what ended up happening is that on both the positions that we listed, we only got 2 applicants each. Like, different 2 people both times. But, where am I going? But, what ended up happening is, like, in both cases, we got one person that clearly didn't really care, and one person that put in the least amount of effort to show us that they cared. Actually, on that second job, he did a bit more. He was, you know, very involved, but like I'm thinking on one of them that we got, he was fine. But what ended up happening, at least on that first one, where like one of them clearly didn't care and one of them like put the least pretense of caring, is that we went with the one that gave the least pretense of caring, even though neither of them were really what we wanted. And I'm pretty sure that that summer student ended up doing basically nothing the whole summer. And that's fine. I don't care about that, you know, obviously. I was a summer student for that organization several years ago, and I spent that entire summer playing Rogue Legacy and watching Countermonkey videos and Spoonie's Ultima Recollective over and over. Recollective? Retrospective. Sorry. So I can't fault that girl for, like, you know, doing whatever. I just wish she had been better at hiding it. Because I think even my boss knew, and he just didn't say anything. Like, when I was a summer student, my boss at that place was completely new as well. So, like, he wasn't able to keep an eye on me. Which was nice. That's basically how I got away with playing Rogue Legacy all the time. I actually 100%ed Rogue Legacy that summer. It was crazy. But I also did the work, because they basically didn't have that much work for me, but they wanted me to, they had like these old, like, paper files, like old library files. So back in the day before computers, I'm pretty sure library records were like kept on these little like paper cards. And so they had like boxes full of these. And they wanted me to put them in an Excel spreadsheet so that we had an electronic version. I did 12,000 of those during that summer, on top of, you know, 100% of Rogue Legacy and watching Countermonkey and Ultima. So this is Havel. He is a unique mini-boss, basically another adventurer who has this incredibly heavy armor and flail called Dragon's Tooth. And now he's dead, so you don't need to worry about him again. Why am I here? Well, I am here because this is the way to the Deep Root Basin, I believe it's called. Sorry, just making sure that my fiance doesn't need me to get her anything. I might have to step away from the stream from time to time if she requires, you know, food or medication or help of any kind. So don't hold it against me, but frankly, her well-being is way ahead in priority than this stream by, like, the entire margin. So don't take it personally. It's not about you, my one lone viewer. Hello, viewer. I didn't comment when you came on. I didn't notice. I'm glad you're here. It's very lonely without you. You justified this whole endeavor. Even if, you know, it's possible that you're just Jeff. If so, hi, Jeff. You know, Jeff is a human being, too. He's worth consideration. Ah, bloody fuck. So this is a Dark Knight, and he has the weapon that I would like, though I don't believe I'll get it. It's a rare drop. But if I do kill him, then I have my weapon for this run. Nope. No such luck. Well, it looks like we'll be sticking with the halberd a little while longer. That's fine by me. And there it is, the Grass Crest Shield. This baby, ooh, I always go out of my way to get it. So this shield, it ups your stamina regen, even if you're wearing it on your back. So basically, no matter what physical build you're doing, it's always worth going a little bit out of your way to collect. Oh, I think I can level up again. Yeah. Fuck yeah. This is the life. Alright, now we're in business, my friends. Now this stream is going somewhere. And that somewhere is not at the bottom of a rat pit to rot with the rest of the filth. So, now that I've completed this errand, I've gotten the Grass Crest Shield, I can do the next bit, which is going to be getting the Elite Knight armor, which is some very, very lovely armor that you can find in the Darkroot Forest just above. But you know, I enjoy collecting stuff here and there, so I'll also make sure to get this leather armor. And you know, maybe I'll even equip it. I'll keep the Brigand Gauntlet, they just seem better overall. And the Brigand Trouser too. Why am I even wearing this? Is it better? No, it's just downright not. The Brigand Armor is better. Huh. Weird. Even though it looks like just some tattered rags to me. Well, I guess it's video game logic. So yes, the leather armor did have one more physical defense and a little bit more, I think it was lightning defense, but it had like significantly more weight to it. Nice, some large titanite shards. I can upgrade my halberd even further. Man, when I come back to the fucking depths, I'm going to blow through that place. When I go back to the asylum too, because oh, we're going back, baby. You know, they might have completely ravaged me, you know, 12 ways last time I was there, but this time's the one. I can feel it in my bones, though maybe that's just the ludicrous amount of butter I've had. So, this little cavern right here, it connects to the blacksmith that we were just at. Why am I not going? That's because there's a little eensy-weensy tiny detail to solve before we can go back. And I would rather be, you know, equipped with a decent set of armor by the time I have to deal with that. So, onwards we must go, always. Ooh. Done and miscalculate. But yeah, speaking of like the good news that happened this week, like spontaneously out of nowhere, I have a friend who tuned in, watched the videos on my YouTube, and he told me I did a great job, but then he's like, you know, if you need any help like getting a logo or like some stuff like that for your stream, then feel free to reach out. I'm always willing to help out. So, you know, we might actually have some goddamn production value coming up in here. As I've made abundantly clear from my first stream, I have no technical know-how of Twitch in any capacity. Like, I know the strict minimum to be able to make this work. That's okay. There's basically no barrier for entry. Need me some water. Water helps when you're about to get ambushed. Just leisurely stroll around them and fill them with holes. Ow. Wonderful. And, you know, incidentally, this will also mean that we resupply a little bit on the on purple clumping moss, which is a useful item to have in Blight Town. Though I don't plan on making much use of it. You'll understand when we get there. Oh. So these Stone Warriors, they do this thing where they slow you down ridiculously with magic. But if you got a weapon worth a damn, honestly, you can basically just tank through it and destroy them very quickly. Now, I'm pretty sure there is a grassy fucko who's going to ambush me while I'm in there. Yep, I can hear him. There he is. Hello. Goodbye. And there's also this snaky snake. You might think he's just part of the environment, but nope. There we go. Spin attack. And the Partisan, which is a very solid spear choice. When I said I did a spear build a while ago in this game, I was using the Partisan. Though I had started off with the winged spear, because you basically get it for free at the beginning of the game. Okay, you're waking up. Let's put you back to sleep, buddy. 3 hits from the Albert. Man. I've been wondering what the etymology of a halberd is. The reason I say that is because Bardiche, which is another polearm that has a large axe head, seems to be sharing the bard from halberd, Bardiche. Though Bardiche is very clearly a French word, because the ish, it's it would basically mean a little bard in that context. So I'm wondering what originally bard meant and what language it was from. If I had to guess, I would think that it is Germanic. So maybe it's from Danish or something. Or like Old German. Or even like Frankish. I don't know. Etymology wasn't exactly my field of study, but I just think it's interesting. No fragrance, Canada. I do not want to hear about your new restock. Sorry, I check my emails on stream. I know, such a break to the pace. And I need to get the fuck out of here before I get pounded into mulch. Bye, mulch. Come on. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. I don't like being whipped by a chia pet. Oh, I am in quite the pickle right now. Ow. That was not fun. And that was even less fun. Okay, there we go. Ooh, that's not an opening. Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright. Okay, we got this. We got this. Yeah! Yeah, we got this. Alright. Okay, good. I'm glad. Took control back from the situation. Wonderful. And that right there is the bounty we're after. The Elite Knight set. This is all going very well now that I've got a halberd. And you know what? Whilst we're here, we might as well destroy a beautiful, majestic creature. Doesn't that sound like fun, children? Yes. Though this fight is, in fact, quite boring and frustrating. So, the Moonlight Butterfly. I'm not great at dodging his attacks. As you can see, there's a very narrow stretch where it is even possible to... there we go. This one I can dodge. But yeah, this boss's gimmick is just that he shoots laser beams, and every so often he's going to dock to refuel, and that's when you can get him. And because you can only ever really hit him when he docks to refuel, it's very slow. And it's one of those fights where, you know, the enemy controls the pace of the fights, not you. There we go. Okay, I should run. And from the looks of it, I'll just have to do that one more time. Jeez. Come on. Not cool. Buddy bro. I don't know. When he just does like the scatter shot, I find it very difficult to dodge it. But the homing shot, even though it will basically insta-kill me if it hits, I find it fairly easy to dodge. A, it's much slower, and B, it's very predictable because it's just going to track your movements. Now, he has a couple other attacks. He can do like a Kamehameha beam. That one's pretty rough. But if he docks himself, then he's done. So, oh. Is he docking himself? Yes. Alright, we've won this fight, boys. Come on. And there we go. The music is very sad and longing in this place. It kind of reinforced that we shouldn't be killing this creature. But, whatever. You know, this is the world of Dark Souls. I got a bit of a hate on for this game right now due to how it treated me last stream. You know, I can handle a tough game, but I don't very much enjoy being so utterly crushed in front of a viewing audience. Granted, that viewing audience is very small right now. A lone viewer. But still, they get decent life on YouTube. I'm considering splitting these up into smaller episodes for YouTube, actually, because our 2-hour long stream, like, direct episodes aren't necessarily the lightest viewings. My concerns on that front are twofold. One, it would be a bit artificial, where I choose to cut off one episode from the next. It would basically just be like, what is a marketable chunk of episode that I can boil together? Like, that's fine. That's a fair way of doing things. You know, other YouTubers do that. But the other reason is that it would require me to do some editing. And I can do editing, but I don't necessarily enjoy doing editing. Though eventually it'll probably be a necessity. The only way to maintain a consistent, you know, uploading schedule will be to have enough videos to go out every day, whether I'm able to stream on that day or not. So, wow, already up to a halberd +7. We're going to wreak bloody devastation on the depths when we end up returning. Oof, that's a heavy equip load. Maybe if I go for the Ignite helmet. That's still pretty heavy. Let's see, what's my equip load at? 35 out of 58, so I'm over 50%. 3, 4.5. Okay, so removing the helmet will be the first step. Still a bit heavy. What if I remove the shield? Okay, now we're mid-rolling. I'll just two-hand the weapon, and there we go. That'll be good enough for now. And as we get more stamina, we'll be able to add these things back in. Oop. I miscalculated. Sorry there, sir. Perfect. So, next destination is going to be the Undead Asylum, because I really want that item I was talking about last time that's going to make traversing Blighttown that much less insufferable. But in order to get that, I need to go through the Asylum. And in order to do that, I have to go back to the Firelink Shrine, which means I'm going to have to handle this Titanite demon. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be linking up to the blacksmith. This fight is typically pretty difficult, especially this early in the game. But this halberd just destroys the competition. And there we go. Back at the blacksmith. Hello, Andre. So, that's all nice and good. And now, we can go back to the Firelink Shrine. And any Titanite that we get now, we'll be able to use for our lovely armor. I was wondering whether I should do the Elite Knight armor, or whether I wanted to go for a very heavy armor set later in the game, like the Dark Iron set, ow, or even, you know, some of the boss sets that you can get. But I think I might just go for Elite Knight, because it's a very, very reliable bit of armor. So I don't believe anybody is going to be able to say that, oh damn, another Baldur's Side sword, that going for Elite Knight is a bad choice. Not that that matters, just... yeah, might as well. I mean, I'm here, I might as well just twat another bloke in the face. That's no sweat off my back, really, unless I die. And I didn't, so it's no sweat off my back. Speaking of sweat off my back, I need to reposition. Ugh. Sorry about that. Trying to keep my diaphragm relaxed. I have this, you know, strangely enough, I have a bit of an insecurity where I feel like if I'm not actively focusing on making my voice sound good, it's going to end up sounding a bit squeaky, nasally, and very nerdy. Which either you agree with that sentiment, or you believe that I'm just being hard on myself. Most of my friends who I've asked a question have said that I'm just being hard on myself, but if I hear it on the recordings, I have to assume other people can hear it, and I don't like it. So I've been, you know, more diligent with my vocal exercises and making sure that I'm positioning my voice correctly when I'm streaming, and that I'm not straining my diaphragm, and also that I make sure to relax and be calm. Because I think a lot of it just comes from the anxiety of performing live. Which I don't actually have that much trouble performing live at the theater. But performing live on stream for some reason is just very intimidating. I think it's the posterity of it. If I, you know, mess up on stream, you know, anybody's going to be able to see that when I inevitably re-upload it to YouTube. Whereas if I mess up on the theater, you know, only the 5 spectators that were there are even going to remember that it happened. So, you know. And that's if they even notice, which sometimes you can't. I remember one time I was on stage, I just completely blanked on my lines. And that basically never happens for me. I have a very good memory, but I just blanked in the middle of a monologue, basically, and I just had to completely improv new lines. That's fine, you know, that worked because I knew the gist of what I had to say, and it was a student play anyway, so it's not like anybody really cared. Or had the script in front of them to check that I was, you know, whether I was saying the right thing. The most embarrassing, though, is one time I said something wrong during a play, and something so wrong that it, like, affected the plot. Basically, I have to, like, say somebody's, like, tiny bit of context. I was playing, in that scene, a referee, and I had to give a penalty to somebody in a very unfair way, where it was very obvious, there we go, where it was very obvious that, like, I was being influenced to make sure this person wins. And I accidentally, in one representation, said the wrong one's name. Like, there were two, one I was supposed to say and one I was really not supposed to say, and I said the wrong one. And this just created the most awkward moment on stage where I just had to say, sorry, I meant the other one. Oh boy, that was not a fun representation. But my solace is that I was not the person that messed up the most badly in the run of those plays. There was one show where we had somebody completely blank on their line in a scene where it was critical that everybody got their lines right because everybody was the cue for everybody else. It was like a very rapid fire. It was like the climax of the play. And they forgot, and so the whole thing was silent for like 30 seconds until one of the actresses like jumped ahead and said her line even though she didn't hear her cue. And that kind of saved the whole thing, even though it was stilted and awkward like 5 seconds where nothing happened. Boy, that was a rough time. Decent play. I learned recently that it was that there's like a recorded version of that specific play on YouTube. Hopefully it's not one of those representations where something really bad happened, but I tried watching it and I couldn't stand it. I don't have a problem listening to recordings of myself, but I have a massive problem listening to old recordings of myself. It's this weird thing where, like, I think I'm fine at performing on video. You know, I have, like, small things that I don't like, but overall, I don't think it's terrible. But back in the day, I think I was just, like, really stiff and unnatural and awkward. So earlier today, I was searching my name on YouTube. Basically, I wanted to see if any prospective employer were to look me up, would they be able to find this stream series? Was my concern, because I've been saying some pretty strong swear words, especially in episode 2. So I wanted to clear that out as a possibility. And for the record, I wasn't able to find these streams by Googling my name. Why did I take the long way? I could have taken the fucking elevator and be here in like 5 seconds. Man, it's hard to focus on what I'm saying and the game at the same time. Anyways. I was looking at... Oh, damn. They're here already.
Oh, hello. My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure.
Riveting.
What have we here? You look awfully raggedy.
Shut up.
Times are grim. The least you can do is look sharp.
Fuck you.
You dare meet my lady like that? You
Look,
might scare her off.
that armor puts like adds 60 pounds to your frame, buddy.
Oh, you again. What business have you? I don't suppose we can help though. We accompany my lady on her righteous mission. It is quite a chore, but I'm stuck with her, and Nico too. I can't very well abandon them now.
The Simp Squad.
You are undead as well. Then we've no time to fraternize. I have my mission and you no doubt have yours. We must not let this curse overcome us.
Whatever. What was I saying? Searching my name on YouTube. So I arrived at a very old video. When I say very old, I mean 8 years old? 8 years old video that I had done for a French class in like 11th grade. And I tried listening to it to see how it was. And it was not good. But whatever. I passed that class. But the thing that's funny about it is that I can't remove it because it's tied to my school account from my high school that I haven't gone to in years. So that email address is completely just out of operations. So that video is just going to be on the internet forever. And that's fine. After all, I needed to give the aliens a reason to execute me for crimes against... Sorry, I couldn't find a way of making that joke work. I want to say something along the lines of, you know, the crime was that I was being too awkward. But the way I phrased it made it so that I couldn't find a way to end that properly. I'm awfully sorry about that. But that's the worst thing, when you get like the setup of a joke, but you're not able to find the right punchline. And I get something similar, where sometimes I'll think of a joke in one specific language, and then I'll try to say it in the other language. So I'm a polyglot. I would say that I'm, you know, trilingual, but that's not entirely true. I am fluent in French, English, and Italian. I am conversational in German and Am I dead? No, I lived. I am conversational in German and Mandarin, and I have a linguistic base in Spanish, and I study, by study I mean I do like Duolingo, on Russian, Arabic, Japanese, and Portuguese. Also, forgot to mention, I also have a linguistic base in classical Latin. When I say linguistic base, I mean I know like enough grammar to make... Ow. Okay. Enough grammar to make basic sentences. When I say conversational, I can like answer basic questions. When I say fluent, I mean like I can express myself clearly enough that a native speaker can understand me. So sometimes, but I bring that up for context, but most often, when I'm translating a joke, it's French to English, because those are the main languages that I speak. So sometimes I'll just think of a joke that works in French, but it just really doesn't work in English for whatever reason. And I start the joke thinking that I'll be able to figure it out by the end, and I just can't, and it's the most awkward feeling. Aw, oh, come the fuck on, you stray bitch. Okay. This fight is going to require me to focus on the game a little bit more, so I'm sorry if the commentary slows down a bit. But I'm going to, you know, actually focus on kicking this guy's ass, because... Well, it's not that it's particularly difficult, but it is particularly frustrating. And my vendetta can only wait so far. So long. Sorry. So far. Jeez. Come on, fire buddy. You kill me enough time lasts for me to want to stab you until the end of times. I will never get tired of stabbing you in your readies. Like so. Come on. I got enough halberd for all of you. It's not a finite resource. Unlike your life. Oh god. He basically does like half of my health bar whenever he hits. Yeah, again, he's not very hard to read. He's just... It's just hard to do that when I'm also trying to tell a story. Ooh, God. Oh, that was close. That was way too close for comfort. Imagine trying to take this one out with just my fist. I will not do that. I am not that kind of masochist. Or sadist. I don't believe that's very engaging content. I guess it's engaging in the same way that, like, you know, seeing a guy get tortured would be engaging. Like, some people are into it. It's just not my kind of content. Like, I guess the sheer, like, amount of willpower it takes to do that is impressive. If he hits me, I'm done. So I gotta get out of harm's way. He can just summon nukes. This is not fair. Summon intercontinental ballistic missile. That's my level 9 wizard spell. Shit fuck. God damn, these hurt. Ooh, that was close. You know, if this game were fully committed to, like, realism, I would be dead. You know, I did not dodge roll out of his axe. I just dodge rolled into it, and I happen to have some iframes. I'm really thinking I should get myself a co-commentator. Maybe somebody who's more well-versed with, like, the technical sides of games and such. I have a couple friends who could fit the bill, but I need to get one of them to want to record with me. But I think it might be more interesting comment than to see me, like, in a half daze trying to come up with color commentary. Ooh, God. Alright, there we go. See, anything's possible when you got a big stick. A fucking Titanite slab? Yeah, I'm really not supposed to be here at this point of the game. That is like the last tier of upgrade material. Where am I going? Ah. There we go. A ladder. Neat. Ah, yes. I'm going to be needing a shield for this part, so I might remove the gauntlet, put on the grass crest. Is that enough? Yeah, that's enough. Because we got a nighty boy over here. Hello there, nighty boy. Bye-bye there, nighty boy. Or should I say, good night? I would not have been surprised if I had lost my one viewer there. I think that would have been an appropriate punishment. Peculiar doll? Ah, I don't like playing with dolls. What a strange joke. Doesn't really work, does it? Anyways, the peculiar doll is an item that you use to unlock a secret area later on. The Painted World of Aramis, I believe it's called, or something along those lines. So there. Ah, and we're back in the lobby. Is that enough for me to wear gloves? Yes, it is. Or not. I guess it isn't. Strange. I really thought it was. I guess the game was still calculating there. I was just like, does this make him fat? And then it just kind of went, yeah. Oh boy. Listen. I can take one rusty knife to the posterior, but two? That's excessive. Come on. I want to kill you again. I don't like you. I don't like any of you. I wish I had a more painful weapon. I wish there was a pain stat in the game. I would max it out just for you guys. Oh, hello. Goodbye. There's another. Now, we're not done with this dungeon. We haven't gotten the item I wanted, for one. So we're gonna have to go... Ah, yes. Another Knit. You English Knigget. Time to meet your maker. That's right. Your father was a hamster, and your mother smelt of halberds. Or however that line goes. Oh, hey, Oscar. Nice shirt. I guess he doesn't like it when when somebody else wears the same shirt as him. That's fine. His is a lot more red than mine now. Boop, boop, boom. Now I can unlock the way back. And there we go. Only 12 more things to do. Just kidding. That's the item I want, so I just need to figure out how to get it. And I think there's a door somewhere. Yes. Yes. I remember. Okay, I know where I'm going. Perfect. Alright, so first things first, don't get Indiana Jones'd. Second thing second, kill this guy. Good. Can take those off my bucket list and carry on. Jesus. Boop. Boop. Oh, it's cute. He's got a little bow and arrow. Boop. Oh, there's two of these guys now. Whatever am I to do? Yeah, I feel like getting the halberd is just switching the game to easy mode, frankly. Apart from that boss, I could sleepwalk through this dungeon. But I consider it more of a mercy towards my viewers. I'm sure it must be riveting to see a guy continuously fail to be good at Dark Souls, but after a while the joke runs thin. And doubt comes. Doubt comes in. Sorry. Couldn't help myself. I just love doing the Hades from Hades Town. It's like one of the few musical theater roles where my my vocal range is actually very well suited. Oh, you're back. And so it never ceases to be a delight. All my children came in pour, clattering for bed and board. Now what do they clamor for? Freedom, freedom. Have I made myself the lord, just to fall upon the sword of some pauper's minor chord? Who will lead them? Who makes all the best laid plans? Who makes work for idle hands? Okay. Now, let's not fall off this dungeon. That would have been the fucking... That would have been hilarious if I had just fallen the same way I had last time. But, unfortunately, I must disappoint. Much like my performance of Hades. And there we go. Okay. Now the time for errands is concluded. I can finally head back. And, and kick the depths shit in. What time is it? 6:20? I can go on. Let's do it. Wow. It feels good to actually play with a character that works. Or a build that works, I should say. It's the same character, technically. Don't care much for those sunburnt arms, though. My boy needs some aloe vera. Maybe some moisturizer? I don't know. Being a hollow, it does terrible things to your skin. Oh god. It would have been pretty embarrassing if I fell off that staircase right there. Well, not really embarrassing. It's not like it's happening to me personally. It's just... You know what I mean. Or so I must assume. I don't know, wouldn't it be crazy if my one viewer was like some random person that doesn't speak English at all and is just like putting this on to like learn the language on the back burner? That would certainly explain why they haven't disconnected thus far. this... How much of a good time you get in these games really entirely depends on what weapon you're using. And whether you're, you know, keeping yourself upgraded in the correct ways. Obviously, you could just play as a fundamentally broken characters with all the right stuff and not have a good time. Why am I a moron? Put the rusted iron ring, and now I can walk through the water like it's nothing. And that's the point of the rusted iron ring. What it does is it basically makes it so that water and such doesn't impede your movement anymore. Now that's important when you go to Blighttown, because the lower section of Blighttown is a massive poisonous swamp, where being in the swamp water builds up your poison, and where the swamp water is the kind of water that slows you down. So this water doesn't slow me down. This water does. And Blighttown is that kind, except poison. So I also wanted to get the poison resistance ring so that I could delay the poison. And then there's an armor set I'm going to get on the way to Blighttown that is also going to help. Man, even taking care of the mucus is easier with a halberd. Though I wouldn't necessarily recommend that my viewers take care of their mucus problems with a halberd. I would suggest a Kleenex. The halberd might be a bit uncomfortable. Though, definitely a great way of asserting dominance at your next tea party. If you just clean out your nose with a halberd. It's like you've heard of Sword Swallower as well. Get ready for the halberd Q-tip. That's right. I clean out my earwax with a halberd. And that's why the doctors diagnosed me with a laundry list of mental illnesses. I'm going to hope that joke is PC, and move on and hope that everybody else forgets it ever happened. Did I rest at the campfire? The bonfire, sorry. I just want to make sure that if I die, I don't get teleported all the way back to Firelink Shrine. Maybe I did, and I'm going to come off as a complete loon, but I swear I usually have a pretty good short-term memory. But for some reason... Yeah, I think I had rested at the bonfire. Sorry about that. Call it there and back again. There you go. That's the name of this episode. That's actually pretty good. Anyways. Mucus. You have met your reckoning. Rats. Well, time to die. Now, I've already done the gross, disgusting basilisk pit. So really, all I gotta do is take on the boss of this place. Why did I come back? I don't need to be here. I have the master key. I could just go straight to Blighttown. Okay. Well, since I'm here anyways, might as well take care of the open heart surgery dragon. That's not mine. I believe that's Yahtzee. 0 punctuation. Sorry, I'm going to be stealing quite a few jokes because I don't actually have any originality. It's a strange birth defect. I was born without an original thought in my mind. So, get ready for some quoting. Unfortunately, it is terminal. Eventually, you know, I'll recite my last quote. And with any luck, they're going to put it on my headstone. And then they'll charge my body with plagiarism. I won't care. I'll be dead. Dead people rarely care about their lawsuits. So broadly speaking, there's one strategy with this boss that I'm aware of. That strategy is, don't be in the same postcode as him when he does stuff. But yeah, this is a pretty, you know, uninvolving fight. Just run in, twat him somewhat, and then run the fuck out. And hey, it's an armor set that I want to like, but is actually very underpowered. Hard leather. I wanted to like the set. I really love the look of it, especially the little helmet, but ultimately, practicality has to win over looks. You know, if there's one thing I will praise about this boss, I actually quite like the music. Oh boy. Yeah, see, that's where the advice comes in. Just don't be in the same postcode as him. Alright, and he's doing a thing. So let's, ow. Man, he got 2 hits on me. I'm doing very lousy. Why do I have a shield? I can just two-hand this guy. Jeez. 3 hits on me. It's probably one of my worst runs of this boss in a while. I say that because he's honestly really not that hard, you know? Just don't be in the same postal code. Eventually he'll do this thing, and then you can just wail at him. And he's done. Oh my. He took 1 hit more than I anticipated. And that's how you take care of the open heart surgery dragon. Next. We're doing a lot of progress this episode, Jesus. Compensating for all the dumb deaths I had in the last one, honestly. I gotta be careful, I can feel my voice getting squeaky again. Just gotta relax. Relax. Rats! Relax. Sorry about that. That was a bit uncalled for. I'm just going to take a little nap before heading to Blight Town. Make sure these souls are well invested. And a diversified ETF going for strength, vitality, endurance, and dexterity. That's right, we're going to Wealth Simple our Dark Souls build. Now, luckily for me, Blighttown is basically the last area that I don't like for a little while. And frankly, it makes up for it with a pretty fun boss fight. Though getting through the area is really a pain. It's gotten easier over the years, hello, as I've gotten more and more used to the layout and the lighting. This area used to, like, freak the shit out of me because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But now that I know the ins and outs of it, it's, you know. Actually, I might replace Grass Crest for Spider because I believe Spider Shield grants some extra poison resistance. So let's just give ourselves as much poison resistance as possible. Also, the camera is going to be very rogue for the next little while, so I'm sorry about that. It's just a reality of the layouts. Yeah, it's hard for them to have the same kind of commanding presence when I know the timing on all the parries. But trust me, the first few times you encounter these guys, they're not the large chuckle fucks I'm making them out to be right now. They're pretty intimidating. It's just that they're going against the largest of all chuckle fucks. So, I outrank them. Booyah. I was saying how the Kestis were very visceral, but I wish to take back that assessment. I think the combat in Dark Souls is just very visceral overall. Like, I can't really think of a weapon that feels unsatisfying, if that makes sense. Ow. There's so much, like, weight and momentum to every hit that it always feels fucking amazing. But when you get hit, it feels genuinely terrifying because it doesn't take much for you to die. And dying, it's not the end of the world, but it's never pleasant. You know, it's always going to rattle your box a little bit. Like, there are games like, you know, Shift 2. In Shift 2, I always expect that I'm going to die. Even if I'm doing fucking amazing, it only ever takes like 2 hits. But in Dark Souls, sometimes you can fool yourself into believing that you might actually survive this. You're wrong. Eventually you'll die. But there are long stretches of time where you're like, alright, I'm good enough to do this. And so it feels, you know, it always feels weighty and significant when you end up inevitably dying. You know, it's kind of like a Game of Thrones death. Early Game of Thrones. Sometimes you know the death is coming, but that doesn't remove the impact, because it feels like it has so much weight and importance within the fictional world that they've established. Don't fist me on a ladder. That's not something I thought I'd be saying today. Alright. That's one good one. Oh, I see. How many more of you bastards are coming down here? There's enough to halberd for everybody. This is an all-you-can-eat halberd bar. Jeez, I messed that one up. It's a fucking conveyor belt sushi place. For pain. There we go. Fixed it. I've never been to one of those conveyor belt sushi places. Are they any good? Like, I know all-you-can-eat sushi overall has a not amazing reputation. I mean, if it's all-you-can-eat, how good can it be? But I've never tried those conveyor belt places. I know my fiance really wants to try one, but that's because she's a weeb. Like, anything Japanese she wants to try. What I'm saying is, I don't know whether she wants to try it because she's heard that it's actually good, or just because it's a thing that we don't necessarily have in our, you know, nothing town here. And I think that's an important distinction. And there we go. That's the last thing I need to complete my ultimate poison resistance kit. The ninja armor. Because as we all know, ninjas are immune to poison. It's in the book. You know, it's in the rules. They just, poison doesn't affect them. Ever see a ninja die of arsenic? No. Never. Actually, now I'm wondering whether there's like a really famous historical ninja that died from being poisoned. Like, there probably is. When you think about it, a lot more people were poisoned through history than we would probably, like, think about. Because the ones that were well poisoned, nobody ever realized. But also just because poison is a very convenient way of killing someone. Without people necessarily realizing, or without people being able to tell who did it. So, you know. Gotta be way more poisonings than are accounted for in the standard history books, is all I'm saying. Is my neighbors playing their music that loud? Like, I can hear some like ooh, and I'm concerned. I'm not sure my mic would actually pick it up because I got the what's it called? Like the sensitivity of it fairly low, but I'm concerned because I don't want there to be a significant amount of background noise during my stream. But it's also just irritating because I basically, like, text my neighbors almost daily to tell them to turn down their music. Hold on. It's faint enough that I don't think it's going to be a problem. Okay. Now can I wear some fucking bracers? Please. Nope. Don't you love it when bracers are the difference between able to move lightly and being a fucking clumsy fat ass? It's just... I remember all the times where I was like getting geared up for the Canadian winter and I got my fucking massive coat and my ski pants and my fucking boots. And then I put on some gloves and suddenly I was completely unable to move properly. It just completely halted my range of motion. You good there? Didn't break your back falling down that ladder? You're not just upset because I murder your best friend right in front of your eyes. Honestly, I have no sympathy for these guys. These bloody monsters have killed me in other, as other characters so many times that, I've just lost all mercy for them. Any hint of sympathy I might have had in my idealistic youth disappeared. Yay, I love the Fun Ride Bridge. Oh god, I fucking hate these dogs. So these are like the other dogs, except they breathe fire. So, yeah, like that. Thank you for demonstrating, Fido. I do not like these dogs. I do not like this part of the game. Just a lot of stuff in Blighttown that I do not like. If I ever met the mayor of Blighttown, I would tell him, buddy, you gotta clean this fucking place up. This is a dump. What even is your main industry here? Manufacturing fucking ruined childhoods? I think their biggest export is splinters. Jeez. Fuck Blighttown. That's a good point. But to be fair, I think the top part of Blighttown is the worst of the two. And the sights are pretty breathtaking. Like the massive trees and such. This game is really beautiful if you take the time to stop and look at it. The issue is that everything in it wants you dead. And so you're not exactly incentivized to take a moment to really appreciate the beautiful vistas and landscapes. I also hate the fucking little flip-flop sound that these dogs make when they run. It's like they're wearing goddamn Crocs. So you might have noticed that there's these little sounds that we're hearing. That's because there's these fucking assholes with blowguns that are shooting toxic darts at me. And I have to go and kick their asses. This halberd just packs so much of a fucking punch. Like, I've had some builds that were pretty good, but I've never had this easy a time going through Blighttown. I don't know, maybe it's just because I was able to upgrade it to +7. Maybe the halberd just kicks fucking ass. I might go for number 2, actually. I think I've had weapons that were upgraded to +7 before coming here. But the halberd, Jesus. Ah, there's one of those blow guys. Yeah, see, they give you toxic, which is like poison, but a million times worse. And also, you can only cure it with these blooming clumps instead of the regular clumps. Yeah, it's like there's, the most poison can be cured with just a Tylenol, but then there's these fuckers that give you the toxic, and then you need to use a whole Tylenol 3. But it's okay. These blowgun guys, they don't respawn. So, once they're dead for good. And that warms my heart. I would sound pretty cold-blooded, but honestly, this game has no mercy for me. Why should I have any mercy for it? After that last stream, I am not inclined to be very generous with the enemies. In fact, when I was thinking about what weapons I wanted to continue this run as, I was mainly thinking, which one could I use to most effectively fuck this game in the ass? Those were not my exact thoughts, but that's the most succinct way I can phrase it. Which one is going to allow me to most easily destroy all of my enemies? And I think I made a good choice with the halberd. It does that very well. God, I hope my one viewer isn't my mom. That would be an awkward thing to explain. I didn't mean it literally. Yeah, so that weird Eldritch Abomination just blocked the way to this pyromancy, and you have to go around to kill it. I explain these things. I don't necessarily expect that that you care that you need them to be explained to you, but you know, just in case we have somebody who doesn't know a thing about Dark Souls. Ow! Who doesn't know a thing about Dark Souls. Ah, god fucking damn it. I'm not sure I can actually counter that that heavy attack. Parry, I should say. Parry that heavy attack. But this one I can. Bye-bye. Well, this takes care of that. And we can journey forth. Don't worry, I'm not going to be able to blow through the entire game like I'm blowing through these areas right now. Basically, once we get past, I want to say, Lost Izalith, I'm going to be getting, I'm going to be much less confident going forward. Mainly because I've only ever really made it as far as Lost Izalith. And don't worry if you don't know what that is yet. You will learn soon enough if you stick around with me, kiddo. That's right, I'm giving you the all-inclusive special Lordran road trip tour. Special Lordran road trip tour. That's definitely what I wanted to say. These, I believe, are called Chaos Spiders. They are the spiders of chaos. They have fire whips. As far as I'm aware, that's all the chaos they're up to. Fire whips. The whip. One of the weapons that I consider... Is that a fucking blowgun guy? I'm gonna fucking murder you. Yes, I considered the whip as one of the weapons I could use, mainly on account of the fact that I've never used the whip in Dark Souls before. Or in real life. But I read up on it, and apparently the whip is really bad in this game. So maybe I'll save that for Elden Rings. Maybe we'll never talk of it again. And that's okay by me. Hello there. This place has another thing that I hate. Mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. And no, people in Canada don't pronounce it mosquitoes. It's mosquito. But I pronounce it mosquitoes. I don't know why. I just started doing it and I never re-examined it. And as much as I love my halberd, it's not serving me the best against these specific cock buckets. Because they are at an elevation. There we go. So I have to angle my camera weird to be able to hit them. Maybe I can, like... There we go. Power attack seems to do the trick. Good old spin attack. I try not to rely on it too much. It's kind of slow, as you might have noticed. Now I'm going to switch for the rusted iron ring. And in fact, I'm going to switch my armor too. Shadow. Oh, hello there. Goodbye. I'm using that hello goodbye gag a lot. I need to cut down on that. Note to self. And there we go. Now I think that's as much poison resistance as I can possibly have. With the poison ring, the ninja armor, the spider shield, and the rusted iron ring making it so I don't have to slog through the swamps. I'm very confident in my ability to tackle this area. Fucking mosquitoes. Come on, you bitch. Come down here so I can kill you. Come on. If I die to a fucking mosquito after commuting this far, I'm going to be very upset. But that was a lot of Estus to deal with some fucking skeeters. Oh, that was stupid. I should have let my poison meter build down a little bit before I did that. But it's okay, because we hit up the Darkwood Forest, sorry. I got a lot of purple moss clumps, so I can cure my poison a little bit. So yes, this is the swamp. Swampy bits. And leeches. Not a big fan of leeches, though I don't believe many people are. But I don't hate them as much as I hate rats and mosquitoes. So, you know what? In terms of bottom-feeding vermin, you're alright. I'm going to withhold the drive to make a political joke there. So, fill in however you like. I've been listening a lot to Puccini's Tosca recently. So, one thing you need to know about me, if we're going to be on this journey together. I love opera. Love it. My dream career is to be an opera singer. That said, I understand that it's a bit of more of a niche interest these days, so I'm going to try to hold a conversation on the subject of opera to a fairly low quota. But in this case, it's pertinent because I've been listening to Puccini's Tosca a lot. A very dark opera that I very much enjoy. Though overall, I'm not the biggest fan of Puccini. I don't know, there's just something about his composition that I feel is missing. Like, I don't think it's his fault. I think it's just like the style of opera in the early 20th century, which was much more through composed and less focused on having just straight up good tunes. More in favor of having, you know, like a whole that is more harmonious. Like, it's very interesting, and I'm glad that they did it, but I miss the days of Mozart or Verdi where it's very full of fun, hummable, singable tunes. But with Tosca, which is my favorite Puccini, you have a couple of just brilliant musical moments. And I have to stop myself from like whistling the same few bars from specific songs over and over. Not because they're necessarily completely good tunes, but because the specific moments are so lovely in context. Right now I'm thinking about Tuska's song from Act 1, the one about the going to live at their cabin in the country, which has like a few moments that are very whistleable, for lack of a better word. Also not cool, leeches. And now we're out of Estus. You know, I wonder who my lone viewer is. So at the beginning of this stream, I said that I was under the... I thought it was possible that the lone viewer was myself, because Twitch does count the streamer as a viewer of their own stream. But on reflection, that might not have been the case, because for a while during this stream, it was showing me 0, and then suddenly it ticked up to 1. And I seem to remember that from last time as well, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I might die here. I hope I don't. I'm a far away. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm alright. I will survive. Besides, I've already taken care of most of the major threats on my way back down there, which was the blowpipe dudes. But I would have rather that hadn't happened. Oh boy. Oh. That's embarrassing. Well, that's a good 11,000 souls lost. That's okay. I mean, that's only about 1 level. Still a lot of souls. Well, a lot is a big word. Let's say it's an uncomfortable amount of souls to lose, but not a painful amount. You know? On a scale of 1 to 10, this is more like a 4. It's like, I would have rather not have lost that, but I can live. And the real tragedy is that it was just a very stupid way to die. But to be fair, there are worse fates in the world to die in a stupid way. Not many, but a few. Dying in a horribly painful way comes to mind. You know, that's a good, you know, would you rather? Would you rather die in a stupid way or in a very painful way? Because, like, I don't think anybody especially wants to be burned alive. But would you rather be burned alive than, like, die on the toilet? Well, I think the numbers will show me that most people would rather die on the toilets. Mostly on account of the fact that a lot more people do die from... A lot more people do die on the toilet than die from burning themselves alive. So... And presumably, you know, you always have a choice at any moments in your life. If you want to set yourself on fire. You good, mate? No? That's good for me. No, I am not Australian. I'm French. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's okay. Every minute that he spends roaring is a minute where he is not giving me a concussion. Ah. See, that is a painful and embarrassing way to die. Getting a halberd several feet through your asshole. Not a very Not a very graceful way to go, let's say. That's like Gaddafi times 10. It's just not great. But you know, again, at this point, I've taken out most of the major threats on my way down, so it's just a question of not being stupid or unlucky. Which, granted, you know, I think most people are either stupid or unlucky. Maybe an interesting, you know, hypothesis that you could put on a Facebook meme or some shit. Unprovable, of course. But you know, you could see like some kind of pretentious teen that wants to believe that he's better than others say, "You're either born stupid or unlucky." You know, it sounds like that kind of inane comment that is unprovable and therefore not worth talking about. If I have to deal with these fucking mosquitoes, you know, I'm just gonna run past them. You know what? I'm gonna treat them like high school bullies. Just ignore them. Gonna try to give me a poison wedgie. No, thank you. Let's wait for the poison to abate a bit, and then we can cross the street. The reason why I'm going back this way, if you know the game, you know the bonfire is that way, but there's like 1 or 2 items I want to get in this direction. There we go. Mosquito kebab. Musk kebab. How would you say that? I guess it doesn't matter. Ah, fucking dick balls. Sorry, I've been trying to put in more of an effort to reduce my swearing to a minimum in the event that somebody that I would be embarrassed at seeing me say fucking dick balls stumbles on this video. I know it's a very low probability event, but I would rather avoid that conversation if at all possible. But sometimes I just can't help myself. I've been swearing for years. Swearing since I was 9 years old. Started watching AVGN, suddenly saying shit piss cunt fuck was the coolest thing ever. What a shitload of fuck. Boom. Oh. That would have been cool if it had worked. But, guess I should just stick to what does. Ah, yes, the server. Which in this game is a curved greatsword, and I believe it restores HP when you kill enemies with it. So it can be very cool for a kind of vampire build. That's an idea for the future. What do we have here? More leeches. Is there a word for the phobia of leeches? There must be, but I can't for the life of me think of what it is. Oh, jeez. See, I can farm large Titanite shards from these guys, which is why I'm going through the extra effort of making sure that they're all dead. If I can get my halberd as far as up as a +10 by the end of Blighttown, that would be a massive plus. Though I don't think that'll happen. Mainly because I'm not that committed to it, and because there just, you know, aren't that many leeches on the side of the map that I'm actually going to be spending most of my time on. But there's a few here, so, you know, whilst we're here, might as well. I'm just waiting for the poison to lower a bit. But yeah. Apart from that, I should remind my viewers once again that there will be no streaming from this Saturday to next Sunday. So that's until the 21st. To clarify, my next stream will probably be on the 22nd of August. Because I will be on away at a lovely cottage for a week with my fiance and my best friend, and potentially his girlfriend slash fiance, though that's not entirely confirmed as far as I'm aware. Logistic problems is all. And as much as I would love to be able to stream from the island, I'm not even sure we'll have like cell phone reception. It's very out of the way. Pretty idyllic spot though. Belongs to my uncle. He cashed out at the beginning of the pandemic before markets crashed and used the money to get a property on the island. And the property comes with a smaller, less luxurious property at the bottom. So my family gets to use it every so often. Lovely spot. This spot is so idyllic. There's like apparently a family of foxes that live there and who sometimes will come visit with their babies. I personally don't believe that because I've never seen it, but I've been told. Fuck me, man. These mosquitoes can go choke on a dick. Yeah, I know that's a very vanilla thing to say, but like I'm not happy with them. I'm very disappointed in you, Mr. Mosquito. Die in a fire. Just really reconsider your life choices. You'll make no friends in this line of business. I hope you know that you're disappointing your parents. Fuck me. Fuck you. Eat my asshole. God. So much for not swearing as much. Jesus fucking Christ. And that's another reason why the cottage is pretty idyllic, because in late summer, even though it's out in the bush, there's no bugs. Like, no mosquitoes, nothing. Which is insane. It's a very nice bit of property. Alright, there's the bonfire. In that strange mountain rectum. I never really thought about it, I guess. But anyways, that's where I have to go. Now, alert viewers that are familiar with Dark Souls might have noticed that I haven't been getting invaded. Well, there's two reasons for that. The first is that the servers are still down, which I believe I talked about in the first stream. That right now, all the Souls-like servers are shut except for Elden Rings due to a potential cyber vulnerability in the game. But and they haven't been put back online. So at the time of recording, functionally, there is no multiplayer in these games. But the other reason is because I haven't been restoring my humanity, and invasions only happen when you are when you're not hollow. Hollow is the state where you have no humanity after you die. So typically, you know, you would get your humanity either because you wanted to summon help for the bosses, or because you wanted to kindle the bonfire so you can have more Estus flasks. That kind of stuff. I haven't been doing it because I usually just don't really need it. I'm not going to be getting help because when you summon help, it makes the boss have more hit points, and the computer bots that can help you, the computer summons, sometimes they don't have a high enough damage output to make up for the extra HP on the boss. So, you know, sometimes it's just easier to tackle them alone. So I just haven't really been bothering with that much. Now, usually I'd be heading towards that big, like, cancerous mountain over there. But I'm going to take a small detour yet. This is a bit unusual because typically you go up here when you want to get out of Blighttown. This little lift right here, it connects eventually to that tunnel in the Valley of Drakes that I showed off in episode 1. But I'm going to come through here because there is an item I want to get coming up. That's a bit of a detour anyways if you're trying to get out of Blighttown, so I might as well just get it now whilst I'm here. And it saves me a little bit of time later on. You'll understand. We'll get to it. Mosquito, I do not like you. I want you to die, or fuck off, or both. Fuck off and die. Die and fuck off. Could you get the fuck out of my face? There we go. That one seems to do the trick. You know, you can only be calm and subdued for so long. Why am I like... Oh, fucking cunt dicks. Go away. You're not welcome here. We don't like your kind around these parts. If I die because of this fucking mosquito, I'm going to set my computer on fire. Where am I going? Oh, you son of a whore. Just die. Just die. Thank you. God. You know, the existence of mosquitoes is to me proof that there is no God. Because a benevolent creator could not have allowed us to live in the same world as these fucking flying dirty syringes. Where am I going? I don't know. Blighttown is disorienting, to say the least. Oh, there's where I want to be. Just need to figure out how to get there. Here's where I came from. There's a ladder up. I'm on the right. Oh yes, this is where I want to be. Alright, perfect. See, this is where they all live. Ow. This little area right here might be the area I like the least in the entire game. Not because it's difficult, it's just because this is all the enemies I hate together. Living in harmony. Oh, you fucko. Oh, I'm dead. I am so dead. God, I'm fucked. Fuck me. At least I took out like 2 or 3 of those fuckers. Jeez. That was bad. So what happened, I tried to jump over the pit to go twat him in the head. And he got me with one of his fucking poison darts on the way there. And so it interrupted my jump. And I fell into the pit of sin. Filled with fire-breathing dogs. Where all of the blow-piped motherfuckers could continue firing on me from above. That place is pretty tough to challenge if you are approaching it methodically, you know, going from one end to the other, systematically clearing everything you meet. It's another thing entirely to be dropped in the middle of it. Your fucking pants down. With goddamn malaria. I want to outpace the mosquitoes. They can fly though, so maybe I should attack them when they're low. Yeah, that seems to work. The halberd seems to be very good at attacking at things that are low to the ground, which is good for dealing with dogs, and is not good for dealing... Oh, there they are. And is not good for dealing with mosquitoes. Go. And another one bites the dust. And now I believe there's only 1 or 2 more, but I think it's just 1. So unfortunately it's the hardest one because I have to jump over this little pit right here, but I should be able to do it. Oh god. Oh lord. Oh, that worked. Hey, I'm actually not doing too bad. I'm only slightly fucked. Ah, what? Where'd he come from? I didn't think I'd aggroed him. Sorry, my throat is feeling a bit dry. I've been speaking a bit lower than usual. And now he's at the top. Great. Come on. Back up, mate. I'm coming for you. There. Now that's satisfying. Alright, so now I got 2 more, eh? Well, they're dead. And there we go. Firekeeper soul. Now, for reasons that you don't need to know about right now, I will not be able to use that Firekeeper soul to strengthen my Estus flask when I get to the Firelink Shrine coming out of Blighttown. However, there are other characters in the game that can strengthen your Estus flask. There is one in Anar Londo that can do it, but that's a whole Sense Fortress away. So the next one is a character that is coming up beyond this area's boss. And so if I have the Firekeeper Soul at the moment where I defeat the area's boss, I'll be able to upgrade my flask then and there. So that's why it saves me a little bit of time. Now, if you were a first time, playing this game, you wouldn't know about that. But I do. I'm trying to time it so I can go on this elevator down. That mosquito was just being a real pest, which, figures. Alright. Is there anything in that corner I need to get? Doesn't look like it. So, I can go back to my bonfire, and my next run is going to be to try to defeat Quelaag, the area's boss. So, let's go ahead, shall we? Oh, actually, I want to see if I can upgrade my halberd before we go. Yes. Wonderful. Ah, that's the life. Not much in this area can stand up to me at this point. It really was a great idea to go for halberd. I know I keep on saying it, but like, you have no idea how much more comfortable it is. Like, you could argue maybe I was just playing like shit last time. I don't think so. It really is the weapon that makes all the difference. If I had used a halberd to fight the gargoyle, I probably would have done it in one try. Though honestly, it didn't take that long to fight the gargoyle this run. Not as long as I thought it would have. I can hear Waffle begging for attention outside. Poor lad. Oh boy, I didn't mean to aggro both of them at once. That could be bad. Well, that's okay. He's taken care of. And soon this guy will be too. Pickaxe. I'm getting to the point where I'm running a bit dry on commentaries, but basically what's going to be coming up, I have to go across those two columns to get a few more items. And I got 3 more of those giant with large stones waiting for me. Now the trick is that you can aggro some of them individually. And as you notice with the first two that we fought, they're very, very easy to backstab. So if they hit you, obviously it's going to hurt. Now I don't have that much Estus to spare, so I need to try to go through here without getting hurt much, if at all. Not because Quelaag is especially difficult, just because you want to avoid something, unfortunate happening. You can know all the patterns of a boss, that doesn't mean that you're not going to slip up and make a mistake at some point. I knew all the attacks of the gaping dragon, but I still got hit like 3 times. I was okay, I could recover, but sometimes you can't. And when I was doing Gaping Dragon, I had 10 Estus flasks, so... Again, luckily, these guys are pretty easy to read. Now, if I go around, I think I can trigger that top one without triggering the other one. Yep. Boop, boop. Take a leisurely stroll to stab him in the rectum. There we go. You know, one thing, though, that I wish with these games, because I'm just such a big fan of halberds and such, I wish there was an option to get, like, different poleaxe textures, just so I could have a bit of variety when I'm always going for polearms. Because, like, historically, there have been dozens of different models for polearms. And I just would like to be able to play with some of the more unconventional combinations. They don't necessarily need to be mechanically different, just look different is all. I mean, at the end of the day, a Bohemian ear spoon and a partisan aren't that different. Or like a spear and a military fork, as another example. Yeah, large titanite shard, that's what I like to find. Whoop. What I don't like to find is mosquitoes. But for some reason, they seem to have been distracted by something to my right. I wonder what that could be. But it doesn't really matter. So, let's get ready for battle. I don't believe I'm going to be needing my shield for this fight. It's more about dodging than blocking. Oh, and I should switch out my rings. Havel's ring might be a good idea. It boosts equipment load, so I can maybe have a bit more defense and, yep, be able to dodge. Maybe I can even have my Grass Crest shield for some stam regen. Yeah. Alright. Quelaag ain't got nothing on us. We're gonna wreck this bitch. Let's get ready, lads. Now, the trick with this boss is to stick to its right side. And, you know, a general trick for all Dark Souls bosses and enemies is know when to get in and know when to get out. And with Quelaag, this is especially important. Also, be mindful not to step into lava. but that should go without saying. And as always, you know, use the size of the arena to your advantage. So obviously here, we have a lot of space to run away if she starts crowding it out with lava, so... Oh god. To jinx it by being overconfident, but you know, I think it would be reasonable to say that we're probably going to be able to do it this run. But of course, if I'm being stupid and just going head first into the lava pool, you know, things are going to go poorly for me. Yeah, one more hits. And there we go. Chaos Witch Queelag, your ass is grass. Yeah, let's go Evil Eye. Ah, very satisfying. And now, my friends, we can ring the second bell of awakening. Wish I was homeward bound. Alright. We're gonna do one last thing today, and then I'm going to call it a night. We're going to run headfirst into a wall.
Oh dear. What have we here? Are you a new servant?
Yes.
But you have no eggs. Ah, no matter. Go along and have audience with our fair lady. I pray that you will mind your manners.
Thank you. And there we go. Now we have an Estus Flask +3. And I don't actually intend on joining her covenant. But, you know. I sometimes you gotta lie to get what you want. Anyways, that is going to conclude the stream for tonight. To my one active viewer, thank you very much for joining us. And to everybody who's rewatching this on YouTube later, I hope you had a good time. And I'm not going to be streaming for another week or so, but once I'm back, we're going to be on our way to Sense Fortress. So, see you then.